right, good evening, Who That Nation. Welcome to the WDN Chatline podcast. This is the host CB, and I'm here with co-host WD. WD is training camp 2021. How you doing, fam?
Oh man, I'm doing pretty alright, but I got a feeling that we are pretty upset about something today.
Yes, sir. We will definitely get into that. And Who That Nation is officially training camp 2021. I hope you guys have enjoyed your off season. Now it's time for Saints football. So we in for the long haul from here until February, hopefully. So hope you guys are having a great night. We have a great show coming for you all tonight. And tonight the phone lines will be open. So we will give you guys time to call in and give us your thoughts and opinions on the news that's done happened, and training camp, whatever you want to do. So basically how the show gonna go tonight, we're gonna head into the transactions that's done happen / news, and then we will get into our thoughts on training camp 2021, the position battles we're looking forward to, etc. And we've also had a phone line open. But before we move forward, let's go ahead and get into the comment section. I see Chave N0504, shout out to you. Mike T gonna be a Toronto Blue Jay soon. Ooh, buddy.
He ain't the only one pissed. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, we definitely gonna hit into that, fam. A shout out to you. And of course, we got the OG Jerry Poole in the building. Said good evening, WDN Chatline podcast.
Jerry.
Then we got B Con in the building. He said, "Who that Jerry and family? Who that to you, B Con?" Christopher Favor said, "Yeah, who that football time?" Shout out to you, Christopher Favor. We got the boy Jerry, not Jerry, my fault. We got Leslie in the building. Leslie, welcome back, fam. Okay, and we will get back. We're going to shout out one more guy. We got James Lewis Jackson said, "Who that for Mobile, Alabama?" Alabama in the building. Shout out to you, fam. All right, we will get back to the comments later on, but just a reminder, we will open the phone lines throughout the show. Well, as we get into the show. So let's just go ahead and dig into it. Like I said, of course, we are excited that football is here, but a few things have happened, right when it's time to start eating. So let's dive into it. A few days ago, news came out about Michael Thomas. He had ankle surgery. I'm still not even sure. Was it just recently or was it in June? I believe he got the surgery in June, but we're just now hearing about it. But what's your thoughts on Mike TWD with the ankle injury? Your thoughts on, whether him being possibly selfish by delaying it, or, just give us your thoughts, fam.
All right, so first thing, I'm just going to say that I don't want to hear anybody say that I'm pessimistic or being very, very harsh today. I'm just going to call it like I see it. I'm not a huge fan of this offseason. I think Saints could have done a lot better this offseason. So many things have happened, from Ayimata getting suspended. We don't know about Sean yet. Hopefully, maybe he's in the clear, I hope. But this thing with Michael Thomas, I saw that comment that Sean Payton, he's pissed as F. And he should be. He should very well be pissed. But, yeah, man, I think it was writing on the wall that Michael Thomas, if you notice, that he was not practicing with Jameis and the other receivers. Why did he choose to not have surgery after the season was over? I don't know. I don't know what the reason was. I'm not going to sit up here and pinpoint a reason because I don't know Michael Thomas like that. But I will say that, yes, it's hurting the team. It's indeed hurting the team. That's why Sean Payton has a right to be upset. I'm going to let you go here, CB, because I can go on and on about this right here because there are so many points, in my opinion, that I can hit on to where the whole situation is, especially the receivers. I'm just not liking what I'm seeing.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and give my thoughts. Basically, I'm not gonna call it selfish, but I think he could have been smarter with the decision,
Mhm.
But we also got to put in consideration what was the doctors telling Michael Thomas. Was they telling him they think he can this is something that can just take time to rest and rehab and he get back out there? Was he told that, or was they recommending surgery and he just wanted to grind it out? Now, to me, in my opinion, if the season is over, and right away you addressing that issue, just the smart thing would be just to be on the safe side, just to get surgery right away. But once again, we don't know what the doctors was telling them, so I just can't take the route that Mike was being selfish, or I heard and see comments like he not trying to play with Jameis. Like, are y'all serious? The ones who said stuff like that, like, is you serious right now? Why would he want to play football in general? You think he doing all that just because he don't want to play with Jameis Winston? Like, if he really wanted out of New Orleans, he could just demand to get out of New Orleans, and I think they will honor that. But like, we just gotta be careful on certain comments that I'm talking about, like stuff like that. Like, he want to get out of New Orleans. It's going on year two of him not even being out on the field. It's possible it can be a 2 year span of where he only last year he appeared in like 8 or 9 games, but he really wasn't even that healthy except what, game one, and then the other ones he was out there. So Mike, he ready to get back out there and eat, just as a football player and in general, just for his love for the game. So as far as him wanting out in New Orleans, and he pissed off with the staff and all that, and I don't buy that. Um, like I said, I don't know, so I just don't want to call him selfish or nothing. But if the doctors recommended surgery and he just wanted to grind it out, I believe that was a poor decision. If this was week 2, week 3 in the season, that's something different. But if it happens right, when the season ends, that's February. That's mid-February. You can go ahead and get that surgery done. 4 months to recover. Right at the end of mini camp, going into training camp, you 100%. So uh, I don't know exactly what to say on that. I'm not gonna make no conclusions, but
Yeah.
it's definitely gonna hurt us. Definitely gonna hurt us. Going into the season. Comment by Jerry Poole. He said Michael Thomas should have had his surgery after the playoff loss earlier this year. He should have. I mean, in my opinion, he should have. But like I said, we don't know what the doctors was telling them. We don't know what the doctors were telling them. Could he have rehabbed and all of that? So I'm not sure, but at the end, we're going to be losing a valuable piece, which Jameis and Taysom both need. And I know we don't weather the storm in the past, but we had Drew Brees back there that knows the system. Very accurate. Well, we could get by, with losing a Michael Thomas for some time. You know, the times we was able to get by. I know Taysom had a few good games with Mike out there as well, but without Mike Thomas, when Drew was there, you know, we know how well Breeze knew the offense, so we was able to get past it. But what we're gonna have to do now is just gonna have to be more of a ground and pound, you know, unless one of these receivers can step up, which I believe they will. So while we on the
Woo!
receiver comment, while we
Yes.
on the receiver
Let's
while we
get
on the
to it.
receiver comment, let go ahead and WD, you can go ahead and address something you didn't agree with.
Well, I mean, first off, we can talk about Chris Hogan's because I feel like that's going to lead to that.
Right. Well, you can go ahead and read his numbers because I'm definitely not gonna read the man's
Oh,
numbers.
you want me to read the numbers?
Yeah, you
Oh
can go
shit!
ahead. Go
I
ahead.
don't even have it up, man. I mean, look, I'm not going to read numbers here. Just what I'm going to say is, I think he was hurt the past 2 seasons, so he really didn't do much. His last productive season was 2018 with the New England Patriots. I think his best season was probably in 2016 where he had 4 touchdowns and probably 600 and something yards. But what are your thoughts on Chris Hogan? I want to hear your thoughts first, CB.
The last time I heard of Chris Hogan is Tom Brady's last year in New England, and he was eating. He was eating for a few weeks. He was eating. Him and Brady had a nice little connection going. I remember that, but after that, I never heard of him. I think after that season, he went to. I think he went to the Jets after that, but ever since the little duo with Brady, in that span where he was eating like that, really hadn't heard too much of him, far as him being productive.
Okay.
Will this be a count body? I don't know. I think the receivers we have now is better than what Hogan been doing the past few seasons.
Is he a camp body? Is he not? That's the question I have as well. Sean Payton said something to me. He said something today that I thought was pretty silly. And look, Sean Payton, he's a head coach. He should know more than the fans, of course. But I thought what he said was the dumbest shit I've read today. I'm sorry. It is. He said that the receivers we have now, I guess he was basically saying that we have more needs than receiver. I can't really find the quote right now, but bruh, I'm just saying here, man. Like, look, okay, here's the quote right here. He said there's other pressing positions ahead of that position, which was receiver. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we need a D tackle. We definitely need a cornerback. But those are the only needs I see. Because I'm just gonna say it right here, man. The receiver core right now, it ain't it, man. It ain't it. I do believe we got potential. Like Deontay Harris, yes, he has potential. Marcus Callaway, potential. But a lot of uncertainty.
I'm gonna have to disagree with that a little bit, but you can go ahead and finish.
Right now, this receiving core without Michael Thomas is one of the worst receiving cores in the league right now. That's how I feel about it, man. Sean Payton, the front office, they got to do a better job at getting receivers, man. They got to start drafting receivers. They keep ignoring these receiver classes, man, and it's really irritating. I'm sick of it. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one sick of it. Because when you have somebody like Michael Thomas go down, then you're asking for Tre'Quan to step up. Or dare I say, Chris Hogan, you're adding somebody like Chris Hogan, who's best served as a third or fourth receiver. You don't want to see him play number one and number two.
Right.
I mean, you lose Emmanuel Sanders, who was a number two. But yeah, while Michael Thomas, he got hurt last season, Emmanuel Sanders was one of those guys who could step up and play a number one. And we don't have any receiver that can step up and play number one. And I was already saying that we needed a number two receiver. So for them to keep ignoring these receiver classes, it's pretty irritating. And you
Right.
I'm saying what he said after signing somebody like Chris Hogan, I just think it's silly. It really is silly. And right now, looking at this receiving core, like I said, a lot of potential, right? But it's uncertainty. It's a bunch of names that we don't know what we're gonna get out of. And hell, Marcus Callaway and Deontay Harris to say that, yeah, they have some spark, They could be good guys, but they gotta prove that they can stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't even proved that yet.
Right.
So I'm saying, man, like, I'm just calling for what I see with this receiving core. You are setting up Jameis or anybody else that's being the Saints quarterback this season up for failure.
Agreed. This is an interesting comment right here by B. Khan. He said, in my opinion, Michael Thomas, when the doctor told him to come back in 1 month and they will figure it out, he should have went to the appointment and not skipped it. Just saying. I did see that about him skipping an appointment. And like I said, if all of that is true, then yeah, that's all on Michael Thomas. I know some stuff, you want to fight your way through, or it'll take, rehab and stuff like that. And, when some of these players, when they had surgery, I mean, yes, it'll heal the ligament or whatever that's damaged. But, in some cases, they may not have the same explosiveness and stuff like that. I don't know if that what was going through his head. If that's true, I did see that. But, I don't know, man. That surgery, it sometimes it can, it can set you back a little bit. But with an ankle injury, I believe that definitely should have been, taken seriously. It happened at the end of February. The doctor said come back 1 month. If all that's true, you still in the March time frame, March, April time frame. You would have been ready for training camp. But we shall see how that goes. But back to what WD was saying about the comment that Payton made about the receiver position. I forgot exactly how he said it. But basically it not being the main, cause of concern for position wise. I gotta agree with Sean Payton on that. And the reason why is because my whole thing with the Michael Thomas situation, even if Michael Thomas would have showed up to training camp 100% full go, boom, that would have been a hell of a weapon for, Jameis Taysom. If our cornerback position does not get addressed, and it's not even, they're going to do something to Marshawn Lattimore. He either going to get a game or two, probably 2 games, for that. That was marijuana. So they starting to get lenient with that. So I don't think it's going to be nothing over 2 games, in my opinion. But even if it's 2 games can determine the division. It can determine us getting a wild card or the 7 seed. So, every game is crucial. We all know this. But if we do not have Marshawn Lattimore if he's suspended for at least 2 games and Adebo go out there and, he's having a hard learning curve, he's going through his rookie struggles, this could possibly be, I'm talking about secondary, the corners. It can be looking like the 2014, 2015. Not slot. CGJ gonna hold it down, but the outside corners, if Marshawn is not there for a good amount of time, and then you have a Debo that can't step up, P-Rob, he showed for a game and a half that, he stepped up. But can he be consistent if needed?
CB,
we don't know.
I said D tackle and cornerbacks are the only needs that you can put before that position. I said that. But I'm saying, like, receiver, the fact that he keep looking past that, like, I know we need a cornerback more than a receiver at this point, a second cornerback. I mean, well, you can talk about first if Sean is suspended, but they got to stop looking past the receivers, man.
I agree.
And they have to, because they've been content far too long. And, I understand this argument where they say, hey, Jameis, he got an arm. Bree's arm diminished the past few seasons. I get it. Receivers are going to stretch the field, get separation. I get it. But still, when you're talking about Traquan being the number 1 receiver, yikes.
But, yeah. Now, Traquan was known as a deep threat. And like you said, that doesn't mean nothing about, Jameis. Jameis got to do his part, too, far as getting the ball out there accurately. But, far as what Traquan, it could be a possible argument that he was unable to reach his full potential, kind of like Emmanuel was unable to reach his full potential with us because He more of a stretch the field receiver type receiver, just like Traquan, supposedly is. So if that's the case, can we possibly get more out of Traquan? Maybe. We maybe can, but I mean, it was his route running and stuff like that. It was more to it than just him being able to not stretch the field, in my opinion. And Sanders, he was able to, get open in short field routes as well.
Exactly.
His bread and butter was just, running deep routes. That's what he excelled the best at.
I feel like short, immediate throws, I feel like that's best suited for Marcus Callaway. I think Marcus Callaway can do all those things compared to Deontay Harris and Traquan Smith. Like those guys, deep threat, like you said, but I think Marcus Callaway is the only one that can do it all in those terms.
Right. And I just seen we can read this question right quick. We get into the Xavier Howard a little bit later, but we can still answer this. Shout out to John Thompson. He said, "Do you guys think the Saints would trade for Xavier Howard and win the Super Bowl with the best defense ever? Shut them down. No offense can keep up with that D."
You want me to go?
Yeah.
All right. So first question. Well, the first question is, do you think Saints are going to sign Xavier Howard? Okay, I think they should sign him easily. I mean, they should go trade for him, but are they? Will they? No, they're not going to do it. I mean, hey, now there might be interest, but I just think they would have to give up someone big or something big to get him, and I just don't think Saints are going to, go out their way. Saints, look, Saints. I'm not going to call it smart because I kind of disagree. There's times where I feel like, yeah, they should trade for a certain player. I just feel like they don't be aggressive enough. Like they, a lot of contenders, they go get, they go get that guy. When they really like that guy, they go get that guy. Saints ain't that type of team. Now we get Xavier Howard. I think that does change a lot for the defense. So if we're talking about them going to a Super Bowl, I mean, as far as having a Super Bowl winning defense, we still got like a need at D tackle because the D tackle position, that was a huge part on why our run defense was so good. Besides the linebackers and the edge rushers, so
right. And I mean, basically, reiterating the same words as you. Yeah, we definitely should. But will we? Probably not. As far as having the defense, I think we gotta see how things pan out. I do think the D tackle position, those rotating pieces, I do believe they can hold it down until Onyemata gets back. But then at that, we don't even know who's gonna be playing opposite David Onyemata when he get back. So now we're gonna have basically, both D tackle positions is vacant right now. At least for the first few games. So we don't know who's gonna, fit that mold. So it's just a few more pieces with the defense that we need to get addressed before I can say Super Bowl. What do you say? Best defense ever.
I would love a Super Bowl defense. I feel like we had that last season.
But it's one thing. I say it when we get on the Brian Poole move. So you good with Chris Hogan? We can go ahead and get to Brian Poole.
Yeah, I just want to say though, we had a Super Bowl type defense last season. We know how that really losing a certain linebacker that we're gonna talk about later is that was really huge because that was like the last piece. But I think that was the closest to having a Super Bowl type D as far as like having a great D. So that's it.
So far as Chris Hogan, he may be a count body. We'll see how things pan out. But
welcome to the team.
You're welcome. Now, I just want to say the wide receivers. You know what we have remaining. They have shown something. They have shown some potential.
Yeah, and look, I even like Lil Jordan Humphrey. I
Yeah.
think he shows a lot of promise. So it's not like I don't see flashes in these guys, but I'm just saying, man, don't.
Right.
It's really harsh when you sometimes I feel like you're asking certain players to do more than what they should be doing.
Right. And then it may your comment makes sense with the far as the receivers because we're dealing with different quarterbacks now. Like I
Yeah,
said, if this was Drew Brees, even the worn out arm Drew Brees would have made it happen with this group of receivers we have. But now, you know, now we're here with two quarterbacks. Well, I'm gonna just say Jameis. He gonna get it. Jameis, how did he maneuver with that? Do AK get out and in the slot more? And all this is doing is just making the case for Jameis to be the quarterback even more because you gotta have some weapons out there. Taysom even if you put Taysom in the slot, he's a weapon. So that just even makes Jameis' case for quarterback even much stronger now that we down a receiver. So eventually, they ain't gonna have no choice but to, put Taysom in the gadget role. But we'll see what goes down. Like I said, I was high on Deontay Harris. Besides the injuries, but the little flashes that I seen, he's very explosive. He can be a very
mm-hmm.
explosive receiver, but he got to put on some weight. I believe he about 165. Running in the trenches with them linebackers and stuff. That ain't gonna fare out good. Tyreek Hill, he a dog, but he about 180, 185. So he got a little weight on him. He not no 160 out there doing all that. So we'll see what happens. Okay, now we get to Brian Poole. The Saints signed Brian Poole a few days ago. Brian Poole, as you guys know, Drew Brees put the infamous spin move on Brian Poole, which
Oh
won
man,
the game against the Atlanta Fail Clowns. So, Brian Poole, he was PFF, done a little ranking, and really like the last two seasons, he's been in the top 15. I'm not going to say cornerbacks overall. I'm going to say the slot corners, he was in the top 15. So that's the upper half of the league as far as a slot corner. And his coverage grade was in the high 70s. I don't know the numbers off bat, but it was pretty decent for a slot receiver. So what's your thoughts on him?
I
You
like the
know,
signing. I really
right.
do like the signing, man. I like Brian Poole as a player because he's one of the better slot corners. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what does this say about Chauncey? Man, Chauncey, I guess they think Chauncey's going to be, they might have him playing a little bit of outside cornerback, which I question a lot. I mean, hey,
I
look,
want that.
you want it.
I
You
want
want it. Hey, look, man, look. I love Chauncey, man. He versatile. I'm just questioning it, but we'll see. Now, look, my thing was if they was gonna get another slot guy, whether it was in a draft or something like that, I was thinking like, hey, maybe Father Time might catch up with Malcolm Jenkins and Chauncey can hit strong safety at full time. But I don't think that's the case. But going back to Brian Poole as a player, I like him. I like him. Even when he even though he was an Atlanta Falcon, bro, that dude, man, he not only does he cover well in the slot, man, that dude can hit. Like you come down, if you try to run downfield, he'll smack you. Whether you're a quarterback or running back, he'll hit your ass. And I like that. Really, that's what we need. Chris Richard, yeah, man, I think that's his type of guy, man. A guy that likes to hit, physical, yeah, very physical. That's the guy we needed, man. I like Brian Poole, I really do. Um, yeah, he also got a few good interceptions. I think he had two last season, two,
yeah,
maybe one. But
yeah, he
hey,
had
bro,
to.
he a dog, but I think he fit in really well with this secondary. I like this move a lot. This is probably one of the better moves that the Saints have done. I just wish they make more moves like this. Hopefully, we can get an outside cornerback to help.
Right. Yeah, and Brian Poole, he had 2 interceptions. He had 7 pass deflections, and he played in 9 games. I think his season ended like week 10 or something with a shoulder injury. But yeah, we all know Brian Poole. You know who that nation. We've been paying attention. He been playing us pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it's arguably that he was the best corner we faced. In the Atlanta, going up against Atlanta, but. Yeah, very solid slot corner. Um, I remember a few months ago, CD came out with a tweet and said, "Don't y'all worry, me and Lat gonna hold the island down."
Mm-hmm.
Now I remember that tweet.
And look, our buddy Jake, man, he was saying it, and I was questioning the whole time. I was like, I don't want to see that happen. But it looked like he was right on this one. So
Right.
Gotta give him credit, man, because he kept telling me this, and I'm like, oh man, I don't think I want to see that, bro. Get a true outside cornerback, man, and let Chauncey do him, man.
Now, maybe CD done show. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he done shown them something, or they thinking it can work. I don't know, but I still think to come down to it, CD is a strong safety. I mean, that's just his bread and butter. But back to Brian. Go ahead.
I see you, Jake. I had to give you credit, bro.
But yeah, back to Brian Poole. To me, he's going to be out there playing. I don't think this is no count body move. It damn sure better not be no count body move. You could question, was that move, to get depth behind CD? Was that a depth move to get behind CD and for P-Rod to get out to the outside, to move out to the outside? That could be a good question. I think I tweeted that, but I took it back. But now I'm gonna stick with that. I think that could be a possible move. If they gonna keep CD in the slot, and then I believe they're gonna move P-Rob to the outside.
Oh Lord.
I do think not as a starter, but far as depth or giving the young boys some competition. Because where else Brian Poole gonna play at?
Nah, for real though. Look, PJ, they definitely see PJ. They've been putting PJ on the outside. They've been putting P-Rob on the outside. I mean, honestly, I can't keep talking it down because it has worked previously this past season a couple times. So I can't say too much about that. But as far as Brian Poole, what you just said, actually, I think Brian Poole could also play a bit of free safety.
Right. Wait, did I say PJ or P-Rob? I said P-Rob.
I think you said PJ, but no, I just threw.
Oh well, no, I was talking about P-Rob.
Because both of them. I mean, really, in reality, well, I know that they got PJ as a Jerry Ford said, really WD PJ Burt Williams. Man, yeah, y'all know how I feel about PJ, but yeah, man, I think Brian Poole, I think he could play a bit of safety as well. My whole thing is I was worried about Malcolm Jenkins and for the time catching up with him because I mean they showed flashes of that this past season, so I was hoping like maybe they could have some guys playing a little bit of safety, but I know our cornerback position is thin right now, so let's just see, man.
All right. Yeah, we'll get back to that.
And look, you can't question Bree's athleticism, bro, because Breeze was the only guy. He was the only quarterback I seen like do that to Brian Poole. Like every other quarterback got their ass lit up by Poole, man. I've seen Wilson try to run up on Poole. I've seen A-Rod, Alex Smith run up on Poole, and he lit their asses up. So you gotta give Breeze credit right there.
Right. And we're gonna hit on training camp in a few minutes, but shout out to Jesus Will Save Us. He said Sean Payton said he is on the lookout to fill up the QB spot. We will hit on that, but he definitely made that known. So I want to appreciate him for acknowledging that spot, except sticking with a Ken Crawley and stuff like that. He knows that we gotta fill that spot. So that was definitely fulfilling to hear. Also, shout out to Brandon McGowan. We're gonna get into this.
Mm-hmm.
That first name, we definitely gonna get into that. You said Quan, the Mario bomb back in that D line. No need to worry about the secondary. If that front seven can kill opposing O lines, that's true. But name number one, we're gonna get into that. He has to get signed by us first. But we get into that. We definitely agree. Okay, so you good on that? We can go ahead and get into training camp if you good.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so who that nation? Training camp has officially begun. Far as the takeaways from press conferences, really besides the Michael Thomas news, what I took away is the vaccinations and stuff. Hopefully everybody can get vaccinated. I believe it was certain stuff that players can't do if they're not vaccinated, but I just hope this COVID stuff in general doesn't hamper, fans getting in the stadium. I know it's another variant out there, but hopefully we just enforcing the mask and we can get the fans back this year. Because I definitely want to get down to the season Superdome, this season. So let's see. We can get into the offensive side. Offensive side. What is your battles to look forward to? Or is
Cornerback.
there any battles? Are there any battles on the offense?
Cornerback. I want to see a Debo. I want to see what he can do. I want to see that guy, Keith Washington, one of those undrafted guys that everybody likes talking about. I want to see him step up. I want to see what he can do. Cornerback is the number one position I want to see. There are other positions that I would like to see some battles going on, but for me, it's cornerback. We know about that second cornerback position, the questions. I want to see what Adebo can do. The fact that he's a rookie, we got to see where his confidence is and how well he's going to do. So that's mine right there.
Okay, and on the I get one for offense and defense. Let's see for the offensive side, the quarterback that's the obvious
Mm-hmm.
position. So we'll see how that plays out. But I'm gonna go to receiver. Basically seeing who gonna be the number one, who gonna step up to be the number one receiver until Michael Thomas gets back. This is very crucial right here. Somebody can step up, and get their name known. Traquan, this is it for you. I mean, you can, regardless if you with us in 2022 or with somebody else, this your chance right here to step up, and you can possibly secure a bag. Trey Hendricks had done it. His contract year stepped up, so this is it right here. You've been working with Jameis, so y'all been getting some camaraderie going with each other. So it shouldn't be no excuse for us getting used to a quarterback or this and that. I believe Jameis gonna receive first team reps, so this is your time to eat. You've been practicing multiple locations with him. You've been all over Twitter and stuff, so that's gonna be a interesting battle to see who, how the roster lines up with them, how the depth lines up with the receivers. And then on the defensive side, I'm gonna go with. Well, I got two spots. First, I'm gonna go with the will linebacker position. I'm eager to see what
Mm-hmm.
James Bond has to offer at the will linebacker position. Now, I don't know if he made that move or if Sean made that move for him, but I'm eager to see what Zach Bond has to offer. And I'm not sure if if his roster spot is banking on this battle right here.
I mean, I don't know where else he would play besides on the D line because he's good at rushing the passer. So I mean, we use two linebackers, Mike and Will. So I'm trying to figure out like, hey, what would be the other position for him? So yeah, I'm very curious to see what he does there.
Right. And I'm also ready to see, how Pete Warner stands out. While we at the will linebacker position, we can go ahead and, address the Quan situation. Quan, he visit New Orleans a few days ago, I think late last week. Yeah, it was about Wednesday, Thursday last week. He visited New Orleans, and but he hasn't signed a deal with us. Why is that, WD? Why
I,
hasn't he brought in Quan?
I'm trying to figure out why he ain't signed yet. He's the perfect fit here. I don't care about I don't care about his injuries and whatnot. I mean, he's fully recovered, like they said he was. So I mean, look, I'm just saying, bro. When he's healthy, he's the best player in that position on his team, if not the Mario. But I'm just saying, bro. Like, why he ain't signed yet? Perfect fit, glove on hand, man. I don't know why, but it is what it is, bro. They just haven't signed him yet.
And
But you know
also,
what?
man,
You know what would piss me off though? If one of these contenders take a shot, take a chance on
and I was surprised that question wasn't even asked earlier today.
him.
I got love for all the New Orleans media, especially Nick. Shout out to Nick. But man, I was expecting one of y'all to ask Sean about Quan. We asking about, Brown. I mean, those names are, Brown Poole was a solid move, but man, they need to be up there asking about Quan. What's the deal with Quan? Because I know we got Pete Warner, but he'll be in a perfect situation to sit back a year, learn the playbook very well. You learning from Quan, DeMario, you getting that veteran presence, instead of getting your foot in the fire. And you might respond to the fire very well. We don't know, but it wasn't hurt to, sit back from those two and just pit their brains for a year. You still gonna have a role in the defense. You still gonna be getting your reps, but I'm talking about a full-time starter at will. You know,
I
we,
I have no idea. They need to get it done though before he go elsewhere. It wouldn't be shocking to me if they don't sign him because Saints just. I might say something here that's really cruel, so I'm just gonna stop there. I do want to say something about these other linebackers though, man, because if you know, we did let go of Craig Robinson. I mean, I feel like Craig Robinson, he was an emergency linebacker. Uh, I thought he was an okay backup. You didn't really want to see him in the game. He could play special teams, but we got guys now like Caden Ellis. I feel like we've never seen this guy in a regular season game. We never seen him, but this might be the time that he get his chance and we see him out there sometime. What does he have? I don't know. We'll see. Uh, we got Chase Hansen from Utah. That was Utah. I feel like he got a lot of potential, but I know he was hurt last season, so he didn't really get a shot. Besides, we didn't really have preseason it really is extended practice or anything like that. So yeah, man, I'm with you right now. I don't know what to me it's also the depth with the linebackers. That's why I'm talking about those names because I'm pretty much questioning who we got just in case one of our guys go down.
agreed. So that'll be very interesting to see how that plays out. Far as the cornerback position, we have the same old faces on the outside. We got Brown Poole. Brown Poole is going to have a role. So far as how it lines up, far as the cornerbacks go, I just hope Marshawn doesn't miss any games. He might not. He may not, because like I said earlier, the marijuana stuff they're starting to, you know, they're starting to lighten up on that. Because the NBA, done. I don't even think the NBA you can have a positive drug test for marijuana. Yeah, you can't even have that for the NBA. I believe it's like that for the NFL now, or it's moving towards that, but I don't know. but it shouldn't be multiple games that he missed. So the cornerback, DBO gonna get his shot on the outside, and hopefully that boy Rod. We got Keith Washington. Keith Washington is somebody to look out for. He had a pretty decent camp last year. No, not he had a very good camp last season. Honestly, and they didn't pick him up, on the 53. So, this training camp, hopefully he steps up and we can bring him on board. Because every training camp, some undrafted guy or some guy under the radar steps up. The year before, it was Deontay Harris. Step up, got under the lights, performed. Last season, it was Marquez Callaway. Stepped up, got under the lights, performed. This training camp is going to have to be a cornerback that steps up, get under the lights, and perform. I mean, it's sad it gotta get to that point, but we gotta have an outside corner, undrafted guy, under the radar, steps up, get under the lights, and perform. So we'll see how that go.
Man, I want to shout out Jake White for this comment here. He said the biggest battle in Saints training camp will be Pete versus holding calls.
Jake, I'm sorry, fam, but too bad. Pete doesn't even he's not even in a competition with nobody. Sadly, that's sad. Sadly, I wish he could have a battle. I wish he could have a battle with somebody, but that's obviously not the case. That man's sitting on a fat payday, big old fat payday, one of the top paid linemen in the game. So that's where we're at with Andrew Pete. We already know what to expect from him. He's reached his ceiling. What he can improve on is just being more consistent in a positive way. Because this game's where he's been on point, but he just got to be more consistent. Okay, so what I'm going to do is going to put the link in the comment section. It's training camp. You guys, please call in. Give us your thoughts and opinions on any Saints news, thoughts on training camp, anything Saints related. Who that nation? The time is here for football, so football is not going nowhere until February. Shout out to C Step 100. He said, "You think Will land Howard?" We talked about that earlier. We hope we do. But honestly, I doubt it. I doubt it because he's unhappy with the contract he has now. So if we land him, how do you think Marshawn is going to feel about that? Just say Marshawn not included in the deal. He gonna be playing beside somebody, just getting the bank. Let's say we get Howard and then we, give him a higher payday. Then we're gonna have Marshawn beside him. Like, so y'all bring in a guy, give this man a raise, and y'all not giving me nothing. I hadn't even been hearing nothing about them at the table negotiating. Then maybe they doing something behind closed doors. But I haven't seen much been hearing not much about, they representatives at the table talking. So if that's the case, that's not a good thing at all. In a comment, I said last week with Bob Rose on is that they're not going to trade up that high in the draft, taking phone calls for a number 2 cornerback. For them to try to trade up all the way up in the, the 8-9 range, they're getting a cornerback for the future. Maybe he'll be maybe they would have been the number 2 this year. Mm-hmm. But they looking towards them for the future as the number 1. You're not drafting that high for a number 2 guy. So I don't know what their vision is with Marshawn, but we will see. And I see a comment by Jasper Bolden said, "Who that?" Shout out to you, who that? I was scrolling and I found a new Saints podcast. LOL. How long have y'all been on YouTube?
2 years strong.
2 years strong, fam. So appreciate you for finding us. just like, subscribe, and share the page. We a bunch of diehard Saints fans. We get on here and we give our thoughts and opinions on the Saints. We have multiple things we do for the channel. We got WD. He put out Saints highlights. So if you like to see highlights of different Saints players and stuff, we definitely got that. And if you like to play video game, as far as Madden, I play Madden during the season. I'm gonna start that back up. So we got different types of things that Saints related that I believe you will enjoy. So welcome. And John Thompson said, is the WDN Chatline podcast going to run a fantasy football league this season?
We can.
So we're gonna run it. WD said we can, so we're gonna roll with that out. So we're gonna get it back started. And we'll have it live. We'll probably go live on here. So yeah, we definitely enjoy doing things like that. And once again, I just put the link back in the comment section. You guys, please call in and give us your thoughts. I will say, I want to ask you this, WD. Who do you think will be a surprise cut? We'll get back to that question, as weeks go. But just before training camp start, before the practices start, what veteran do you think could possibly be the surprise cut?
That's really tough because compared to the past few seasons in which we were stacked teams, so I mean we could cut guys that we thought were surprises. I don't really see us cutting anybody that could be a surprise this go around. I mean, because like last year you would say that it might be somebody like Craig Robinson. He made the team, but I mean, I could think of a name like Taylor Stalwart. You remember when we had guys like Shy Tuttle and stepping up. He was a surprise cut when he was playing really, really well the season before. So I don't know if we at this point with everything that has happened, the depth we lost this all season, I just can't think of a name in an instance and who could be cut. You got one?
Let's see. I'm gonna go with Malcolm Jenkins, man.
No way.
I'm gonna go with just right now at this point. Right now, I'm gonna go with Malcolm Jenkins.
I mean, but who's gonna be the starting safety? You think
Chauncey, and then possibly Poole in the slot. And this is just an early guess. Because I don't think they're gonna put CGJ on the outside. They may not, but this is just a pre-count, guess right here. I'm gonna go with Malcolm Jenkins, the surprise veteran cut, just because of this move we made with Poole, because Poole is gonna be out on that field. I just hope they don't sign him and try to throw him on the outside. Put him where he's been eating it. He's been eating in the slot. CGJ, do you want to throw him out there and he's not being productive? He's starting, not being as productive on the field. And to me, you throwing him on the outside, that's taking his range away, from making tackles, blitzing. You ain't gonna blitz him on the outside like that all the time. They better not do that, because then that means you're gonna have Malcolm Jenkins or Marcus Williams. Well, specifically Malcolm Jenkins, he gonna have to fall in over there and cover that area.
Now that you said, bro, I'm really skeptical about CGJ playing cornerback number 2, man. Because, and it's not really to talk about his ability, like to slander his ability. I think he's good. I don't know what to expect with that. But the fact that we're gonna lose his presence at the line of scrimmage, man. Like, bro, we need somebody to blow up those screens, and man, I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. I don't like that. Now just thinking about it, I don't like it. But you know what, bro? I got a question that I want to ask you, and probably everybody else. Who the hell is our punter?
Blake Gillikin. And yeah, that's somebody to watch out.
There's another guy named Nolan Cooney. So
Yeah, that's another position to watch out for.
uncertainty.
Yeah, that's uncertainty there because we hadn't seen the guy out there punting. But obviously, if they kind of had him like in a red shirt position last year, maybe they saw some potential. Maybe he was having an outstanding camp. Something that we didn't see.
Yeah,
They just want us. So
he looks like Taysom with a mullet.
right. And shout out to James Lewis Jackson. He said, I believe Coach Payton's wife is going to persuade him to come up with a storybook Super Bowl season.
I would hope so.
I hope so, fam. And shout out to GNO. Shout out to Olivia. She said, hey, C Bay, I see you doing your thing. Shout out to Olivia.
Couldn't wait to get to that comment.
Yeah. Christopher Faber said, we do need some solid receivers. Thought though, like y'all said, Saints need to start looking at the wide receiver class this year. Last year, they had some good receivers.
Bro, the past 3 seasons, they've had some really decent draft receiver classes. I mean, it's like and look, here's the thing: the Saints, we can critique them about how they draft linebackers and other positions, but I feel like their evaluation at receiver has always been decent, at least decent. So I mean, why don't they take chances in high rounds? It don't have to necessarily be the first round, but the second round. Usually they trade up in the second round. So why the hell have they been, looking past receivers? And you know what? There is a guy we didn't name earlier, Kwan Baker. We got to see how he does. So, but I'm just saying, man, like at least these polished receivers, man. And look, I get it. It's tough to learn the same system. But at the same time, man, you gotta take a chance on one of those polished guys, one of those flashy receivers, man.
That's true. I think that's a position Sean think he can just make work. I mean, it ain't that. I think that's what it is because we like you the past few drafts, man. We done had a deep receiving class.
Mm-hmm.
I know the past two, but especially the 2019 draft, that one was so deep with receivers, But
Man, look, I'm so sick of it, man. Like, look, I don't care how. Look, be aggressive, man. Look at these teams. Like, look at these other teams with number 1 and number 2 receivers. Of course, we can look at the Titans. They got Julio, AJ Brown. But I mean, like, you looking at some of these receiver cores, man. You just at least want like one of those guys, man. And I mean, that would we got Michael Thomas, but I'm saying like a true number 2, man. It would help out a lot. I'm just saying.
Right. And honestly, I mean, we had him last year with Emmanuel. That was
yeah. And really, we wasted his season. The fact that with Breeze on, Emmanuel, we could talk about him with Taysom. I mean, that kind of shows you how Taysom did as a passing QB. But yeah, man, Emmanuel Sanders, he was able to stretch the field, catch short passes, medium. So
right. And shout out to Benny DeMarco. He said, new to the channel, like. Shout out to you, Benny. Welcome to the WDN Chatline podcast.
welcome.
We got a lot of content on here. We think you'll enjoy. So please go check out different content we have. Shout out to you. James Lewis Jackson said, what about AK though?
Oh, he a beast.
Well, I believe he was made of like far as his role. His role definitely got to step up now.
My whole thing with that is I just hope they don't run him into the ground like they did with McCaffrey just a few years. Well, the season before last season. I really hope they don't run him into the ground. But you know what? if we keeping it real, that's our number one receiver right there.
Facts. That's true. Okay, we'll read a few more comments and then we will wrap this up. Remember, if you like to call in, I'm gonna put the comment in here one more time. If anyone wants to call in, give a shout out to the team. Any of your thoughts, Saints related,
Trey
please.
Andrews, Pete for Howard. I agree. That ain't gonna happen, but I agree.
How the Dolphins looking on the offensive line?
I mean, Tua, when Tua was playing, he was getting sacked, but was that Tua? Was that on Tua? I don't know. I'm not too sure about the O line.
I think Jake can better answer that. Says that was his guy back there.
Oh, shots fired.
Nah, shout out to Tua, but I mean, if they need some O line help, that's a piece that could be put in there. I do wanna ask you, what is your expectations for Cam Jordan, and do you think this will be his last training camp with the New Orleans Saints?
That's pretty tough. That second question is pretty tough because I mean it depends on what he does. I can see Cameron Jordan getting 8 sacks. How many sacks did he have last season?
I think it was 8, 9. It was somewhere around there.
Yeah, I see 8 sacks for Cameron Jordan this season. Now, how he's gonna do, like in general, as a complete pass rusher, I don't know, man. Because I still don't know because I mean that was definitely a down year for him, but I just don't know if it was an injury or it's just Father Time catching up with him, or perhaps that surgery that he had. So I don't know. My expectations though would be 8 sacks. I'm not gonna say 10. I'm gonna keep it at 8. But I want to see the Cameron Jordan that shows up in the regular season when he's dominating Matt Ryan. And if we do make the postseason, I want to see that Cameron Jordan in the postseason. I'm tired of all this talking, doing stuff like what we doing on the podcast. The comedy, it can be funny at times, but it's time for him to show up in the postseason if the Saints make the postseason. That's my expectations.
All right, and to be honest, maybe if it could be argued, maybe if Cam had a 12, 13 sack season or a 10 sack season, we probably wouldn't have went DN. I mean, it's all kind of question marks with that pick anyway, because eventually he a first round pick. He's going to be a starter at some point. I mean, that's just what it is.
When you say it like that, man, you know what I'm starting to think about now that I never really took in consideration? The reason why we probably really did jump on Payton Turner, we can talk about best player who they saw, the best, best scorer or however they grade. But I do believe they probably felt sick to their stomach letting somebody like Trey Hendrickson go. I know they couldn't pay him, but I'm just saying he probably felt sick about it. So I'm starting to think like, hey, maybe they felt like they needed an edge guy. They was just desperate for him. Now that you said that.
Right.
I mean, come on, man. Like Trey was, he was a leader, bro. He was a sack leader. He wasn't the sack leader, but he was, I think, top 3. So
yeah,
man. They probably felt sick to their stomach that he left.
Yeah, that. And then we move on to Davenport. This is 5th year. He getting paid. He gonna get paid $10 million. It's like $10.2 million. That's how much his 5th year option is. So if they gonna pay him that, he's gonna be some type of rotation. So what is your expectations with him? Do you think he steps it up this year?
I think Davenport is going to be Davenport. Now, what does that mean? I think Davenport, there's times when Davenport showed flashes. Really, before last season. Last season, I don't know what the hell last season was. I know he didn't really start the season. Did he start the season, or I know he had a?
Nah, he missed the first
Yeah,
two with the elbow or something. Did something
yeah,
happen with the elbow?
yeah. I'm not sure. Yeah, I know he got hurt for in camp or whatnot, but I mean there wasn't many flashes last season. That's what's worrisome. But before that, it was he showed a lot of flashes, but he just couldn't stay on the field. So he just flip flopped last season. So my expectation from him, I think he's going to be Davenport. The best Davenport we've seen was what, from 4 to 6 sacks. I would expect him to get. I would expect him to get 4 sacks, man. I think there's a lot of competition right now. I think Payton Turner is going to show a little something. We got Passanen from the Chiefs. I think Carl Granderson has showed a lot of promise. We're going to be throwing guys out there. I don't know who we're going to be throwing at D tackle as an emergency since Ayamada is gone. But I just think Davenport is going to be Davenport. I think we're going to see 4 sacks from him. I would like to see him be more disruptive. That's just me being honest. I can't sit up here and say, oh, I expect the guy to have a breakout year, because if anything, I felt like he would have broke out last season, and then he picked up his fifth year option. So hey, man, we'll see.
All right. Let's get to a few more comments and then we can wrap this up. B-Con said, "Don't break my heart, Cam the man." Well, hopefully he don't. Hopefully he don't break our heart. And Jesus will save us said Cam could have definitely been playing through injury.
Maybe.
That's true. I remember last off season. Didn't he have hip surgery or groin surgery? He had some type of lower leg surgery. He was at the hip or the groin. That could have been it. Not sure.
It could have been it, man. And look, I understand that point. And like I said, I don't know if it could be Father Time. It could be either one of those things. My whole thing is, though, if you're gonna talk, you gotta walk the walk. And that's what I want to see. I want to see him pick it up in the postseason. If he gonna talk that noise, if he gonna clown the division. I mean, hell, when you're great, man, you clown them, man, clown them. But God damn it, man, when you playing versus them, dog, you got to show something. Talking all this noise, man, and we ain't doing nothing when it's time to be doing something.
Right. All right. Crystal Favor said, "True Davenport is always hurt." Jerry Port said Davenport really needs to step up. John Nolan said Davenport will be on RR before week 6.
Oh boy.
Corey Andrews said Marcus Davenport is a guy that frustrates me, has all the tools to be great. That's true. Corey. Shout out to you.
Oh yeah. And here's the thing, man. When I thought Saints signed Passanen, I mean the guy he's lengthy, he's big, just like Davenport. He looks like Davenport. I think he was wearing 92 at the same time too. So it's just, man, like I felt like they probably see that's what Davenport could be if he was a full-time starter. But Passanen, he's not. I don't think he was a full-time starter. But just saying, I felt like if he could be a full-time starter, maybe he could get almost 10 sacks. But yeah, man, Davenport, he definitely does have the tool, but he gotta understand the game too, man. Like he is too much bull rush with him. He gotta learn some new moves, man. Better his technique. That's the problem with him. He definitely got the size, man. He got a mean streak hitting the quarterback. We just gotta see more moves, man.
Right. And I can ask one more question to you. From our draft class, which draft pick do you think we'll get back to these as time goes on through training camp, but just before things get started, which draft pick do you think will have the best training camp going into the season?
Wait, can you ask that again?
Which draft pick do you believe will have the best training camp and preseason?
Oh shoot. I'm gonna say a Debo because if we gonna throw a Debo out at number 2 cornerback, which I expect us to do that, I feel like they're gonna rely on him. Man, I gotta think he's gonna ball in training camp. All these guys that there's always one of these DBs that balled out. Now, that's not to say what he's gonna do during the season, but these guys always balls out at camp. So I expect a Debo to ball out. And the reason why I could have said Payton Turner, but let's keep it real. There's other DEs that we want to be throwing out there. Payton Turner, we don't know when he's going to exactly get his shot, as far as like starting. So, same thing with Pete Warner. I mean, we know he's going to be, in competition with those other guys and stuff. I mean, right now we didn't really sign Quan, so maybe he's the starting wheel right now. So, but I'm just going to give it to Debo just because I know he's throwing it out there. And first of all, he's the most. To me, he's the most. I feel like he's the more polished. He's the most polished player in this whole draft class of the Saints. So I'm going to say him.
Yeah, because where it was with a Debo, if he would have went to the draft after last season, not this past season, but the season before he opted out because of COVID, the 2019 season, where it was that he was going to be a first round draft pick, first round corner. So, maybe he was that good. I can't really confirm that because I'm not sure. I wasn't tuned into him like that.
For this comment, somebody said, no, the hell he don't. Davenport soft last year. He sucked in the run game and couldn't get off the block to save his hair. Well, I'm just saying that he does have the potential only because of his size and his athleticism. Like I said, he flip-flopped. The year before last year, he was balling when he was on the field, but he just couldn't stay on the field. So really, if you look at his size, if he was just smart enough and get his technique done, then I mean, yeah, he would be a decent player while staying on the field and being healthy.
Right. And I mean, he was in the top. He was in the top 3 in DN as far as getting pressure rates. But like I said a while back when that came out, is that what we drafted him for, to get pressure rates? If that's what we're looking at him as, then we might as well compare him to a Jadeveon Clowney, because Jadeveon Clowney can get pressure on the quarterback, but did he ever get his hands on the quarterback? No. We know Jadeveon, he was way too fast and quick not to put his hands on the quarterback. Davenport, that's the type of season he had last year. Get some good pressure, but didn't get his hands on the quarterback. And really, a lot of his pressure rushes that I seen was from him in the inside, especially that Chargers game. But I don't know who they're gonna slide in there, especially now that Onyemata's gone. Not Cam, but I'm saying not Cam. One of the 3 DNs, gonna get some reps in the inside. I know Cam is not gonna start in the inside, but I won't be surprised if he's rotating, in there with the DNs. And then you also gotta look at Malcolm Roach and them. Hopefully they hold it down. But yeah, I'm gonna go with a Debo. Debo, just because, like he said, out of everybody, his role is going to be the biggest coming into this. You can look at Pete Warner. He could possibly be thrown in the fire as well, but I think all eyes is on that cornerback position, honestly, because it's possible that if Marshawn gets suspended and we don't sign another cornerback, Debo, we very well could be looking at him as our number 1 cornerback for a few weeks.
And who was number 2? Yikes!
We got to go back down the same old list again. You got your Karen Crawleys and
You went to Crim Cross. You could have at least said P. Rob or PJ. God damn. See, damn. He went all the way down there.
Yeah, that's where we're at. So, um, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Debo. Yeah, I think he gonna step it up. I hate that this much pressure has to be on him, but it's just a situation where it is what it is. You know, you have these first round draft picks, they get thrown in the fire as well. So whether he gonna step it up, you know, it is what it is. He gonna have to get thrown in the fire, step it up.
Jerry C. Lord help us. Yeah, indeed. I agree.
But I'm hoping for Chief Washington to just step up. Well, not step up because he hadn't been out there yet. So I won't say step up. I hope he, have a hell of a camp and blows up. So step up. That means that you done been out there and you didn't perform. So you need to step. Nah, he need to blow up. Keith Washington, looking for him to blow up, and I hope a Debo can blow up on behalf of our outside corners. So WD, any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
Yeah, man. First thing first, I want to say Saints stop being lame. This has been an underwhelming off season. I don't care what nobody says. I'm not sugarcoating anything. It's been a lame ass off season. They could have done better, but if there's a better option at the second cornerback that y'all can get out there, get the cornerback. I don't know if they're gonna do. I don't know if they're gonna get Xavier Howard. I don't know if they have any interest in him. They should have interest in him, some type of interest in him. I would want him. They could use him. It would help us out tremendously. But sign Quan, stop being lame, bro. Do something. Do something at receiver. Hey, if you want to talk about getting a receiver that can at least do something for real, as far as like a guy out there, stepping up to be a number one receiver, go get somebody like Golden Tate. Do something. Stop playing around, bro. I do want to say shout out to the chat, man. Can't forget about the chat, man. All the questions, all the newcomers, by the way. Thanks for checking us out. We've been doing this for 2 years strong. We still trying to improve, grow, get better. Having fun doing it. We just want the Saints to do better, bro. I try not to be pessimistic. I do like to joke around and stuff. But I just, in general, I just want to see them do better, and they should do better,
Right.
All right, no comment. I don't got no comment for that, man. I ain't got no comment.
He also said Adams is going to eat our ass up week 1. I hope not. I mean, now we got to look A-Rod back in the building for Green Bay. That's what we got week 1.
Lord help us. Like Jerry said.
So that pretty much sums up what needs to be done, on the outside.
Hey, we appreciate that, Jerry, man. OG.
Right. And I see Miss Anna just stopped by. She said, that's what I'm saying. Do something. Shout out to Miss Anna.
Hey, for real, though, man. Like, get your head out your ass, bro. Like, dog, do something. Look, my whole thing is, and it's not to say that the Saints are going to suck, but at least be competitive, dog. Don't go out, you know what I'm saying? Don't go out sad, man. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Do something, man.
Right. So shout out to everybody that tuned in. We posted your comments for the ones that comment. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. We love the support. Wait, let's read it. You want to feel better. Jets first round pick QB still has not signed his contract. That's Zach Wilson, right?
Yeah, I like them, dog.
Yeah.
I saw he got scared when he was throwing up them signs, but I like him as a player.
And I just seen a new name that just popped up. Shout out to Hoodie Jude says, any thoughts on us being the front runner for Xavier Howard trade?
Are we the front runners? I would hope so.
Who else was in that? Did I see the Jets?
I know. All I saw was they said 2 playoff teams from last season and a few other teams. That's all I saw. I ain't about to get my hopes up.
Yeah, that's just something I gotta see it when I see it, and
Right.
the name is included in that. So we'll see what happens with that. But Who That Nation, definitely appreciate you guys for tuning in to us. We definitely love the support from you all. And once again, it's training camp time. I know we done seen a few discouraging news, particularly the Michael Thomas news, but it's training camp. We gotta hope for the best. Hope these young receivers step up. I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward for Lil Jordan Humphrey to step up, along with Callaway and Deontay Harris. If these guys can step up and stay healthy, I believe we can be okay, until Mike returns. I just hope it don't come to a situation where we just gotta put the full load on AK. We don't need to do that. The mark, So we'll see what happens with that. So once again, shout out to y'all. Far as content coming out, the Madden series will start next week. Let's see, it will be at the end of next week, probably next weekend sometime. I will start the Madden series. What I'm gonna do is just randomly pick a team up until the preseason start. Once preseason start, I will play that opponent, every week. And every opponent we have going all the way to as far as we go as a football team. We've been doing this for the past few years. A lot of y'all love it, so I'm gonna get back to it. And looking forward to bringing that content back. And as far as the chat line film room segments, that will start back up as well. It's training camp time, so it's time to get that wrapped up.
And look,
So
for me to do more highlights, Saints better do something. Oh yeah, by the way, make sure y'all like and subscribe if you haven't already. Please like the page, like the page because it lets us know that we're doing something here good and we want to continue to do this. So please do so.
right. And we will see you guys next week. This is the WDN Chatline podcast, and we are out. Who that?
For life.